Hello, everyone. On this Sunday, 23rd November 2025, I am Madam Anireju Erewa. Wherever you are in the world, I greet and welcome you to my channel, Anireju News. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete wa Biafra de no. Asina heri jibimegi. Mete wa Biafra de no. Akane hiora. Dule o. Mete wa Biafra de no.
You know, the sentencing of an innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by a Yoruba running a court made me to realize that Yoruba is looking for relevance. Yes. You know, there are certain things people do because they are looking for relevance. Then go do them. Yes. Yoruba, I have always thought that Yoruba is very secure of themselves, but I come to realize with this sentencing that Omotosho did to Nnamdi Kanu, it made me come to say Yoruba. Now relevance, now Yoruba they look for. And also the Igbo leaders, I come to realize they are puppets to Yoruba, just as Yoruba is a partner in crime with the British and Fulani. Yes, Yoruba is sad. It's sad, yeah. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of Nigeria, is running a totalitarian dictatorship in the new Yoruba Nigeria. Yes, that's what they're running. Yes. Olawole Omotosho, Yoruba conspiracy with the British, with Britain, found Mazi Nnamdi Kanu guilty of terrorism and sentenced him to life, has proven beyond reasonable doubt that Yoruba doesn't have any human conscience, doesn't know shame, does not know law and order does not know justice and fairness. Yes, so when you have a court where this is missing, and that reminds me now, I will now use the word that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu always referred to, that Nigeria is a zoo. Yes, it's a zoo. The rushed conspiracy guilty verdict ruling of the cowardice Yoruba Omotosho will not stand before God and before people of good conscience, lovers of freedom around the world. Omotosho conspiracy sentence of innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on Thursday, 20th November 2025 was because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu happened to be a very different Igbo man who could not be compromised, who could not be bought. Yes, that's what it is. This should show that Yoruba cowardice will never change. You know, they did it in the 60s to Ojukwu. This should be the last straw. Warning to Eastern region Biafra people, coastal inclusive, that betrayal of trust is in Yoruba gene. Yes, betrayal is in Yoruba gene. Is there your gene, Yoruba? Betrayal. Yes. Okay, we'll continue. Situations like this, now they bring talk. Situations like this, now they bring talk. In case Yoruba has forgotten, then Yoruba should be reminded that it was Fulani that Islamized Yoruba in the 19th century. And Fulani murdered Abiola, Moshood Abiola, and his wife, Kudirat, in the 1960s. And Tafawa Balewa Fulani sentenced Obafemi Awolowo to Calabar prison in the 1960s. And Muhammadu Buhari Fulani seized Obafemi Awolowo international passport and deprived him from traveling to receive health care treatment until after Obafemi Awolowo died, that his passport was returned to him in his coffin in the 1980s. Yes. So, I think Yoruba need to be reminded what Fulani did. Omotosho, Yoruba coward should be asked. Since he perceived himself to be Nigeria Yoruba justice, why didn't Yoruba dealt directly with Fulani about the above listed offenses Fulani did to Yoruba? Why did Yoruba decide in the year 2025 to, in conspiracy with Britain, indirectly do to an innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu what Fulani did to Yoruba in the 1960s and in the 1980s? Indirectly. Okay. All right, we'll continue. Omotosho has used his Yoruba court to expose to the world the lawlessness of the organization Islamic Corporation Yoruba Nigeria. Yes. Yoruba Nigeria that the British orchestrated. The narcotic pusher, Tinubu warmongers, has proven to the world Yoruba cowardice disgust. Yes. Cowardice disgust. That's who Yoruba is. Cowardice is why Sunday Igboho agitation for the Yoruba Oduduwa Republic went cold with mucus. He has suddenly gone quiet after he accepted the typical OIC Nigeria corruption money and signed his dignity, pride, and voice away to give up agitation for Yoruba Oduduwa Republic. Just as Ralph Uwazuruke accepted the typical OIC Nigeria corruption money to go bury his dead mother, establish business, and give up the agitation for Biafra freedom restoration. Isn't that what Rap Wazuruke did? Okay. All right, we continue. Yes, we continue. Now talk, they bring talk now. Yes. That is what Britain, Fulani, Yoruba, the Igbo governor, Igbo senators, Igbo political office holders, Igbo ministers, Igbo big business owners, Ohaneze, could not achieve with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They could not achieve it. They offered Mazi Nnamdi Kanu huge money and gave him abundant promises to give up on Biafra. He turned their offers down. Rather, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said to them to open all closed seaports on the coast. Warri Seaport, Port Harcourt Seaport, Calabar Seaport, and Akwa Ibom Seaport to bring livelihood to coastal. He didn't hold any gun or weapon. They went to meet him. And this was what he told them. And all these seaports are located in coastal. He was the voice of the voiceless. Yes. We continue. They told Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that they would get back to him, but they never did. They never did. Instead, the Igbo leaders, comprising of governors, senators, political office holders, ministers, include Soludo, Hope Uzodinma, Yensin Winke, Di Ijo, Asari Dokubo, paved the way that led to the Yoruba Omotosho conspiracy with Britain to falsely charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and deny him a final address on Thursday, 20th November 2025. And after Omotosho guilty verdict of life imprisonment that he rubber stamped on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his absence, he ordered Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be walked out of the court by DSS. And actually, one of the men who attacked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS was in court on that day, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu asked him, what is he doing there? He said this was the one who attacked him in DSS. Omotosho, what did you do? A Yoruba attacked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was so provoked in your court. And he said this man was the one who attacked him. And he said, what is he doing there? Omotosho, you called yourself a judge. What did you do with the man that attacked him in DSS? What did you do? You were waiting to do your ruling. And the man was among those that walked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of the court. Omotosho, you are a useless man. Oniranu now you be. Yes. No, Oniranu. GBT now you be, Omotosho. I don't know how you became how you became a judge, I don't know, or justice or whatever you call yourself. Yes, I don't know how. But that's what happened. Karma has a way of visiting and catching up with evildoers. Karma has a way of catching up. Yes. The Yoruba Omotosho, after he has satisfied his gust in his conspiracy with Britain to rule against an innocent man, Nnamdi Kanu, who did not deserve the Yoruba guilty verdict because he is Igbo. The Yoruba Omotosho has now moved Nnamdi Kanu from the Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi Abuja DSS to a Sokoto prison. Yes, on Friday, 21 November 2025. I bet you Britain is involved in the decision. Britain is involved in the decision because this whole thing is a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Yes. I went to Israel in 2018 with 2 other delegates to see Nnamdi Kanu. Seeing him with my 2 naked eyes is the best gift I have ever received since joining the struggle in November 2015. He is reverent, dignified, and respectful. He had a very broad knowledge of Biafra geographical territorials that includes coastal. This is the fear that Britain, Fulani and Yoruba and Igbo elites, political jobbers, entertained about Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, it's a fear. He knows a lot. So you can't fool him. And he used it to educate. That is the fear. That is the fear. He himself is a university. Himself is a university. He has advanced broad knowledge of Biafra territorials that even those in the so-called South does not know that their geographical territorial is east. That this innocent Igbo man, Nnamdi Kanu, is fighting to be sure that invaders and occupiers does not take their territories away. That Yoruba, Britain, Fulani jihadists want to lynch him. Coastal, you call yourselves South. You are not South. Shine your eyes. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting to save your territorial. Yes. And that's why they are fighting him. Because when Biafra comes, then you will know you are not south to south and that you are east. Britain is afraid of that. And so they decide that let's lynch him. Okay. So open your eyes. Shine it. Very important. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a great soothsayer who has foreseen the future of Biafra freedom emerging. All predictions he made in his broadcast have almost come to pass. They've almost come to pass. He has sacrificed all that is sacrificable as he predicted. He has fulfilled the prediction that he will not disappoint Biafrans. Yes. There is a prediction Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made in one of his broadcasts that it would get to a point when Britain will say, let them take their Biafra, all of it, and go. Yes, do not doubt this prediction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the prediction he made in this broadcast is near in sight, more than people think. Yes, it's near in sight. Yes, it's near in sight. I have 4 video clips and one photo for us to watch and see. Let's see the photo. That is photo of the Igbo political jobbers who sold him out for their own selfish interest. The one with the red hat is Hope Uzodinma, that the Fulani put him there and took out the real winner. You saw the photo. Let's watch the first video.
And you're a judge. You claim you're a judge. You don't know law. You don't know law. Nonsense. Where is the family address? Where is it? Which law gave you the right to waive my family address? Which law gave you that right? If you talk about something nonsense, and you want to try this, and you want to place a prayer with me, and you want to try to do this stuff. You think you're what is this one here? What are you doing 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 here, Master? What are you doing here? This is the idiot that attacked me. This is the fool that attacked me. That's the idiot that attacked me. That's the fool. Don't push me. I'm trying, don't touch. I'm warning you, don't touch me. I'm warning you, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I said, don't touch me. Mad people. You don't know law. Show me where it says you can waive my right to land. Show me the law. Show me the law. I want to show me the law. You don't know law. They are nothing new. They are nothing rubbish. Show me the law. One address. I see that he said I think they are not for them.
All right, my people, gather around because what happened in court today has officially taken the Nnamdi Kanu case into an entirely new level of chaos. And I'm telling you right now, this is not ordinary. This is not a normal courtroom drama. This is not a misunderstanding. What happened today is a direct window into the true intentions of the Nigerian government and the judiciary handling this case. Before we break this down properly, please like and subscribe because what we are about to unpack here is heavy, disturbing, and something the mainstream media will never explain to you with this level of clarity. Let's get straight into it. Today, at the Federal High Court in Abuja, the same court that was expected to finally deliver judgment on the terrorism charges slammed against Nnamdi Kanu, everything erupted into a dramatic confrontation that exposed more than the judgment itself. Justice James Omotosho entered the courtroom prepared to read his judgment. DSS brought Nnamdi Kanu in. Lawyers were seated, journalists were waiting, and Nigerians around the world were holding their breath. But the moment the judge attempted to proceed, Nnamdi Kanu refused to sit quietly. He refused to pretend. He refused to let the court read any judgment without addressing one fundamental issue: the right to file his final written address. And for those who don't fully understand the weight of that demand, let me explain. In any criminal case, the written address is the last and most important opportunity for a defendant to defend himself, present legal arguments, and point out flaws in the prosecution's case. It is a constitutional right. It cannot be denied. It cannot be brushed aside. It cannot be ignored. But in this case, the court has consistently refused to allow him file it. So the moment the judge began to speak, Kanu rose and shouted, demanding that the court show him where in the law a defendant is denied the right to submit a written address. He wasn't shouting for noise. He was shouting because the judge was about to deliver judgment without ever allowing him defend himself. And in criminal law, that alone can nullify an entire trial. But instead of addressing the legal question, instead of explaining the law, instead of responding to the defendant who is representing himself, Justice Omotosho ordered DSS officials to bundle him out of the courtroom. Bundled out, dragged away, silenced, taken out so judgment could continue without his presence. My people, this is not normal. Even hardened criminals are allowed to sit through their judgment. Even terrorists arrested on the battlefield are allowed to sit and hear the decision of the court. But in this case, the moment Nnamdi Kanu insisted on due process, due procedure, and his legal right, the judge became uncomfortable. And instead of calming the courtroom or explaining the next step, the judge stood down the matter and ordered DSS to remove the defendant. Let's talk about what that means. This case has been built on irregularities from day one. The law under which he is being tried is repealed. Jurisdictional objections have been blocked. He has been denied access to prepare his defense. He has been denied the right to file his written address. He has been denied fair hearing. And today was the final confirmation that this is not a trial. This is a performance, a staged process, a predetermined outcome. Because if the court was confident in its judgment, if the law was clear, if the process was legitimate, there would be no need to silence him, no need to remove him, no need to drag him out. Let's talk about the dismissal of his motions. The judge repeatedly insisted that Kanu's new motions were issues already raised before and therefore could not be entertained. But here's the problem. Those issues were never resolved. The issue of jurisdiction was never settled. The issue of being tried under a repealed law was never settled.
You have seen the video and how Omotosho used his court to provoke an innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You heard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, Omotosho does not know the law. You heard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, Omotosho should show him where in the law it says one can waive the right to a final address. The Yoruba Omotosho Judicial Injustice Double Jeopardy Court rushed his ruling. The Yoruba who attacked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS on October 23 was 2025 was among those who walked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out of Omotosho Yoruba Court. Yes. Yes, sir. Okay. Let's see the second video.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has come to court today to make it clear to the court that he has told the judge that he has no constitutional power to try him. Ab initio, the court lacks jurisdiction. Even from the Supreme Court, they made a mess of this case by remitting the same case back to Federal High Court. That is called double jeopardy law. You cannot try a man who has been discharged and still refer that back to Supreme Court, back to Federal High Court. What for? But if they had brought in new charges, people understand.
But how would you explain the outburst in court just a while ago?
It's a natural thing to happen because Omotosho is not willing to listen, is not willing to obey the Constitution, is not willing to obey the Supreme Court orders. So what is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doing in court in the first place?
But you and I know that Justice Omotosho has given Nnamdi Kanu several periods to open his defense. And today he's opening his defense.
No, he did not. He came today for ruling. And you know, let me make this clear to you. By cross-examining those witnesses that came to court, he has opened his defense. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be allowed to go for his final written address. And the very judge does not want to allow him to do that. In the interest of fairness, he should allow him to do so. He said he's proceeding to go and rule. That's what he said today.
The judge said that in other proceedings that happened before, Nnamdi Kanu said the same thing through his former lawyers. And he's still saying the same thing. That is the ruling of the judge.
But Mazi Nnamdi has the final right for his written address. Is that correct?
But this I don't want to be confrontational, sir. Apologies. But this same issue has been raised in the past and it was dismissed.
And when you don't adhere to the issues at the point of law, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? They phrase the issues the way they want to phrase it. If they are to go by the constitution of this country, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would even be in jail in the first place. That you need to understand. I think you and I have followed this case from the beginning up until now. Tell me one single evidence to convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Evidence based on hearsay. Nnamdi Kanu made a broadcast in London which was monitored in Nigeria. Specific place they cannot identify it. Then they moved from that charge and said he made broadcast somewhere around the world. Where is it in the world which was monitored in Nigeria? They couldn't establish that. Now, a few days ago, the prosecution came back and said, oh, you made a broadcast in Nigeria. Where is it made exactly? You must have to tell the court. But they are unable to provide all these informations because they don't have any. Also bear in mind that the witnesses they showcase in court, they are mercenaries. They are mercenaries. And that is why we have filed for perjury today at the magistrate court in which they are here. So for how long will this evil keep going? Though everywhere in Nigeria people are dying, terrorists are killing people. Did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kill anyone? The answer is no. So what is he doing in this nation? It's an act of evil. Attack against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an attack against the Igbos and the innocent people of this country. Those who believe in fairness and equity should rise up now and not tomorrow. I think I can say thank you so much.
You have seen the video and heard Prince Emmanuel Kanu press conference faulted the Supreme Court for use of double jeopardy that dragged Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to the Yoruba invader, occupier, GBT Omotosho court. Yes. Yes. Let's watch the third video.
says you can try me on a repeal law.
Brothers, sisters, Biafrans at home and abroad, stop everything. Hold your breath for a second. Imagine the judge who holds your very life in his hands, attempting to steal your constitutional right, and when you demand, show me the law, they're speechless, utterly blank, like a student who has never opened the book. This is not fiction. This is Nigeria, November 2025, still happening before our eyes. I am Marcus Obi on the Untold News Report, and tonight we are not merely analysing, we are obliterating the grotesque lie that Nigeria possesses a judiciary. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu transformed that kangaroo court into a lecture hall and reduced the judge to a failing pupil. He could not show the law because the law is against him. The Supreme Court has ruled decisively since 1989, 2005, 2016, yet he presumes to play God. Are you ready to watch Nigeria disgrace itself on its own government camera? Because this NTA clip will make President Trump himself exclaim, "What kind of madness is this?" Listen very carefully. The right to file a final written address is a fundamental, non-negotiable right, Section 36, subsection 6, paragraph C of the 1999 Constitution, Section 416 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, and Supreme Court authorities that every serious lawyer knows by heart. Kotoye versus CBN. Ariori versus Aleyamo. Obodo versus Olomu. Indicalba versus Kolomo. Udo versus State 2016. Every single one declares that if a judge refuses to hear the final address, the entire trial is null and void. Mere waste paper! No judge can waive that right on behalf of the accused. Only the accused may waive it, and even then, courts refuse oral waivers in grave cases. So when James Omotosho declared he was waiving it for Kanu, he thundered, "Show me where," silence. Nothing. He had no answer because he does not know the law. Fact. Every lawyer watching knows this single point alone can demolish the entire case on appeal. Do you understand? This is devastating, unanswerable, legally perfect.
You have seen the video and heard the pathetically laughable mockery blunder the Yoruba Omotosho court has become. Yes. Has become his conspiracy Abuja court on international stage. Yes. Let's watch the fourth video clip.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example. In 2022, Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him and ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court. Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional and targeting Christians is fair game. Just hours ago this morning, despite the pleas and cries of the Nigerian people and many Nigerian lawmakers, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, and the slaughter of Christians, they understandably ask as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential, but that potential is being choked out by violent persecution of its Christian population. No country can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and communities live in fear.
You have seen the video and heard the U.S. Congress condemned the injustice ruling of the Yoruba Omotosho conspiracy Abuja court. This was Britain Yoruba conspiracy to the highest order to trash away and conceal Britain's secrecy roles in the Kidnap extraordinary rendition of his own citizen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from Kenya, and the detention in the Islamic Corporation Nigeria DSS, and to cover up the Nigeria Operation Python dance at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu home on assassination attempt that turned his parents' royal palace into a theater of blood, that Fulani Nigeria murdered 28 unarmed IPOB members, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu relatives and his dog Jack to lay in their pool of blood, and hundreds more taken to unmarked grave and soaked in flammable liquids and set ablaze, that led to the untimely deaths of his parents, of the Kanu parents. Yes. Okay. All those involved in the conspiracies that led to the outcome of Thursday, 20 November 2025, in Omotosho Court, be it from the east, west, north, south, and Britain, and elsewhere around the world, and all those who benefited from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu painful ordeals, sufferings, and sacrifices will surely get their punishment one by one in an unexpected way for the slanderous lies from the pit of hell they levied against an innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yoruba Omotosho will not enjoy the money. Britain and others paid him to commit this conspiracy evil act. Anytime Omotosho dips his hands to try to spend the money, he must see the humiliation, provocation face of innocent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Omotosho Court. Omotosho shall never have peace of mind. Omotosho will be haunted hearing the echo voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Provocation roars in Omotosho Court. Omotosho will use the evil conspiracy money Britain and others paid him to pay for illness, incurable life illness that will attack Omotosho. Yes. Yes, because what happened to this innocent man, he doesn't deserve it. The conspiracies that Britain and Yoruba entered with support of Igbo elites, political jobbers, Hope Uzodinma, Soludo, Yensin Wike, Igbo big business owners, Joe Igbokwe, the Ijo Asari Dokubo, in evil desperation quest for Britain to continue vandalization of Biafra resources for another 50 years until 2075, which was a time frame Britain told Islamic Yoruba elders in the meeting Britain summoned. The evil, cowardice Islamic Yoruba elders to attend in London, UK, shall be the end of Britain. Britain will continue to fall. Yes, Britain, you will continue to fall. Yes. As Biafra rises, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will win in the end, to the amazement and surprise of all enemies within and external. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not terrorist. Self-determination is a right. Biafra referendum will be conducted in the end. Thanks for watching. See you next time in Anireju News. If you would like to support humanitarian causes, you may donate via Cash App. You may also visit Anireju News online shop for t-shirts, pens, mugs, and other souvenirs. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness that after the Yoruba Omotosho sentence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on Thursday, 20th November 2025, was verdict of Britain Yoruba conspiracies. The world should please support Biafra exit from the British orchestrated Yoruba system, New Nigeria. Thank you.
Mete wa Biafra, mete na